Okay, the trunks is good. Anything over here is all good. Anything over here is all good. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. When I call for the break, give me the clean break. Touch gloves, let's go to work. Touch them up. Beautiful.
Well, this is something we don't see much in combat sports. Two unbeaten prospects going head-to-head. Todd 7-0 with 5 knockouts. Sosa 6-0 with 5 knockouts. As they collide, there's such an emphasis on undefeated records. Well, theoretically now, someone's always got to go.
Exactly right, Ray. And not only undefeated records, but these are two guys who are both local, at least to Foxwoods, both from Massachusetts, live about 30 miles apart. Very unusual to see this kind of matchup. And to put it in perspective, they have 13 combined opponents to date. Only 2 of those 13 opponents combined had winning records. Now they're fighting each other, 2 undefeated fighters. So it's a big step up for both guys.
And they were going at it yesterday at the weigh-ins. They had to be separated several times. And I told both guys, I said, listen, don't do it for free, man. Get paid for it.
Well, you could tell, you heard both fan bases were loud during the introductions here at Foxwoods. Fantastic crowd here tonight inside the Fox Theater.
Strangely enough, they came up together in the same area, as Steve mentioned, but they never faced each other in the amateurs. Sosa was always a weight class bigger than Todd.
And Khiry Todd, who is coming off a unanimous decision victory. On that same card in January, Sosa picked up a second-round stoppage over Brian Goldsby.
A lot of emotion in this matchup, and Brian mentioned before the key could be who can harness his energy better. You can't burn all that energy in the first round because the intensity was obvious during the stare out there before during the referee's final instructions.
Well, Sosa was crouching down looking up at Khiry Todd. They both have their own way of gamesmanship.
Yes, and I predicted the first round to be just like this, and then after the first round, both guys are going to settle in. It's going to become more of a chess match.
Guess he wants them to separate. When he says separate, he wants them to do that.
But, again, I understand the rules, and that is a rule. But what I don't get is this. They want 2 combatants, 2 guys who are trying to hurt each other. They want them to be respectful during the fight. I mean,
it's kind of hard to do.
Right.
Well, then also, I believe in the ideology as under a minute to go here in round 1 to let the guys fight out of the breaks. Mm-hmm. You don't have to separate them initially, Steve.
Yeah, and the rule is if one hand is free, you don't separate the fighters. I think Murdo's just trying to take control of this fight. He knows how much emotion there is coming in. And he doesn't want that emotion to be the overriding factor in the fight.
Right, resulting fouls and low blows and unnecessary roughness.
Because they've already clinched about, 4 times.
Khiry Todd, 26 years of age, from Lynn, Massachusetts, with a 71% knockout percentage. Adrian Sosa, 22 years of age, with a knockout percentage of 83%.
But the one thing that's missing in this round, if you watch closely in this round, neither guy landed anything in this round.
Yeah, it's actually a very difficult round to score.
Yes.
They were both jabbing at times. They were both mixing it up at times. So
exactly the case, especially, Ray, given that these guys are both from Massachusetts. Obviously, we're an hour and a half away from Boston, maybe. This is New England territory.
Big shots by Adrian Sosa to start off the second round. Khiry Todd holding behind the head as he looks over at Sade Murdoch, but Sosa starting off strong. The way these guys, and there is a competitive disdain for one another. There isn't personal disdain. It is competitive disdain is what I would say.
Good analysis. I like that. You're right. I don't think anything personal, but living in the same region, same area, that competitive nature.
It would be, dare I say, if Boston had 2 baseball teams. That's what we're
which they
in
did
the equivalent
for many
of
years.
this. There we go. Well, that's why you're the historian, Steve Farhood. And
Boston Braves.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's true.
Moved to Milwaukee, right? I think what you're seeing now, with a nice jab there by Todd, you're seeing a lot of clinching. They're falling in. They're so anxious to punch and hurt each other that their balance isn't perfect, and that's why we're seeing so many clinches.
And then also, these guys are still, you have Todd, who's 26 years of age. You have Sosa, who's 22. So these guys are still in their physical primes, and there is a lot of testosterone inside that ring.
Nice counter right hand. Sosa
And
rocked back
Sosa-
and came back with a right hand.
Khiry Todd seems to be hurt, guys. Chopping right hands by Adrian Sosa in the midway point of the second round.
And to have 5 knockouts and 6 wins, Sosa didn't move Todd with that right hand.
They both are in impeccable shape, but Sosa seems to have been getting the better of the exchanges here in round 2.
Yeah, you get the impression, Ray, that Sosa wants to make it a brawl and Todd wants to make it more of a neat boxing match. And Sosa's getting his way this round.
An interesting thing here is the right hand is the key for both guys. I think both guys can land that right hand. It's going to come down to who can land it behind the jab.
Well, as you brought that up, Brian, about 30 seconds ago, as Sosa was coming forward, Khiry Todd backed up Sosa with the jab followed by the right hand, and Sosa isn't willing to engage and come forward as much as he was in the early part of the second round.
That's what a good jab will do for you. It's got so many purposes, and that's one of them. Discourage the other fighter from coming forward.
We'll get to this point in the third round, but so many times when guys have their backs on the ropes, they feel like they have to tie and clinch up and try to turn things around and have the referee separate them, whereas what Khiry Todd demonstrated here in this round is jab your way and then back up your opponent. Physically discourage him from coming forward. Final stages of round 2. So you gave
I gave Todd the second round.
I know, that's what I mean. It's the first time in 12 years of doing this together we disagreed, right?
Well, as they say when it comes to judging, gentlemen, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And you guys beheld something different on both of your ends. Adrian Sosa, Khiry Todd, both fighters with unblemished records. Todd 7-0 with 5 knockouts out of Lynn, Massachusetts. Sosa 6-0 with 5 knockouts out of Lawrence.
And I can understand the anxiousness of both guys because you're from the same area. It's sort of a disrespect for the other guy to call you out in your same area. It's sort of in New York, you know, I was the man in New York back in the 90s. So to have another guy from my weight class in that era say, yeah, I'll fight Brian Adams early, I'd have been pissed off.
I can imagine.
So both guys probably looking at a sign of disrespect.
Well, and then also you consider the fact that Khiry Todd is the older. He's 26 years of age. He's probably looking at Adrian Sosa as, who's this young
kid,
guy,
yeah.
this young buck trying to come and try to steal my shine, quote unquote. Sosa wants to be on the fast track, as does Khiry Todd. Certainly this is a gamble for both, and it has been a terrific fight thus far. 100 seconds left here in the third.
But I figured it would settle down after the first round. It's more of a chess match. The last round was, this round is.
And Todd nearly got upended by Sosa.
Yeah, Murdoch is going to have to yell again at both guys.
I just hope that this doesn't cost either fighter a point, because this is such a close fight, and we have seen deductions in points here tonight. Both exchanged with left hooks.
It's actually a mirror. You're looking at a mirror. Both guys doing the same thing. Both guys physically the same. They're trying to do the same thing against each other.
It's such a close round to score again.
Yeah, this round is very close so far. It'll be one in the last minute. So far, I give Todd a little bit of an edge.
Funny, I give Sosa a little bit of edge.
There you go.
Again, it's going to come down, as I said in Taylor Tate, who has more energy each round, I think is going to come down to it.
And is someone willing to let their hands go and try to steal the round, not a la Sugar Ray Leonard from back in the day? Oh,
nice
big
lead
shot
right hand
by Sosa. Todd acknowledges it. They're both in the center of the ring here at Foxwoods.
Again, as I said, the right hands are there. They just have to throw them. Nice little low blow on the inside by Sosa.
Well, and they both are trading, holding each other off the break, etc., etc. And it all depends on where you're sitting at the ring and what you
And
favor.
your preference.
Yeah, and also because of the emotion involved and the geography involved, they don't care about aesthetically pleasing at this point. They just want to get that W because there's a lot of bragging rights that go with a win like this.
Can you imagine the loser of this fight, what they're going to have to endure over the next few months?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, Brian mentioned earlier they never fought in the amateurs. We should point out they're both former New England Golden Gloves champs. So you can be sure that these guys knew each other. Even though there's a 4-year age difference, they knew each other growing up.
Now they're both exchanging on the inside once again.
And Sosa looks physically more mature than Todd, and Todd is the older one.
Well, that might be body type, too, a little bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes guys, as to piggyback off of what Steve said, are more physically gifted than others. I mean, some guys go ahead and, they're born, they have six-packs.
Right.
I was not that case, clearly.
And listen, no matter how many weights and pull-ups I did, I was tall and lanky.
An echoing right hand by Khiry Todd. This could very well come down to fundamentals. Who is willing to use the jab and place the right hand behind it and keep their distance?
What I see, both guys, a little fatigue starting to settle on both guys. The punches getting a little slower.
Well, nothing will make you tired more than being a little bit uptight,
That energy, yep.
right?
That tightness, yep, and energy.
A left hook by Khiry Todd that missed. 80 seconds to go in the fourth. A left hook as Sosa was backpedaling, and he got caught with a sneaky left hook from Khiry Todd.
Sosa shouldn't throw jabs. Sosa should just land straight right hands and hooks. Every time he jab, he falls in.
When he has a tight guard, so he should come forward with the tight guard and just start whacking and keeping punches, his punches tight.
See, he has success when he throws power shots, but when he jab, he falls in.
When he's a step slower than Khiry Todd when it comes to his jab, the reflexes for Khiry Todd, he seems to be better. The strength and the muscle that Sosa has could be affecting him, and Khiry Todd, it's working to his benefit.
Yeah, and I think, Ray, that if Sosa is not the aggressor in this fight, he's going to have a lot of trouble winning it. First couple of rounds, he was the aggressor. Now, because Todd's landed that jab and landed some counter right hands, Sosa's been much less the aggressor than he was earlier.
And Khiry Todd is stepping to Adrian Sosa here in the fourth.
And also body language is showing fatigue to me.
A left hook by Sosa as we are 4 rounds in the books here in the Fox Theater at Foxwoods. Well, Khiry Todd settled into a rhythm, Brian, as you pointed out. He was on his jab. He was staying out of danger. And it looks like Khiry Todd seems to be the fresher of the two. He's letting his hands go more fluidly.
And I haven't scored 39-38, but I scored that first round even.
Boo.
Easy way out, man.
I got a 39-37, Todd. I think we disagreed on a couple of rounds, but I think we would agree that Todd won the fourth round.
Correct. And I have Todd winning 39-38. You have him 39-37.
Big left hook by Adrian Sosa, but Todd responds with a left hook followed by a right hand. And you heard the Sosa supporters come to their feet.
Yeah, that was an ooh punch, wasn't it?
Oh, it certainly was. When it comes to the style points, that is a 10, but he needs more sustained pressure, does the 22-year-old out of Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I think he needs to get back. He was the victim of right hands in the last round. He needs to get some of that back and start throwing lead right hands.
And Sosa needs to put his head in the chest of Khiry Todd.
That's
big
what I mean.
right hand.
Lead right hand. That's the key for both guys, but mainly for Sosa. Because look at the hands of Khiry Todd, and he's coming straight in, leaning in. Straight right hand.
Well, Adrian Sosa's having a very solid start to this fifth round as we are over the halfway mark.
Well, you never can be sure, but this certainly looks like it's going to be a distance fight. And if Sosa grabs this round, boy, is this going to be a close fight on the card.
Sosa with thudding shots. Khiry Todd retaliates with a left hook.
Yeah, I don't think Khiry Todd landed.
But Todd connects with the right hand that backed up Sosa. Both guys are digging deep. This is a war of attrition. Duly chance of Khiry and Adrian.
And look at Todd coming back after losing the first half of the round. This has been all Todd for the last 30 seconds.
And now Sosa is on his bicycle.
Nice left hook to the body by Sosa.
What a fight here inside the Fox Theater for Broadway Boxing, brought to you by Lou DiBella's DiBella Entertainment.
Sosa's starting to back up steadily now. Is that fatigue?
Body language is showing fatigue.
A laser straight right hand by Khiry Todd.
Yeah, he allowed Todd to take over the second half of the round.
Todd goes southpaw.
Straight right hand.
The sixth and final round. We hope you are enjoying this one as much as we are. Guys, as we looked at this card from top to bottom, the one fight where we looked and said it could steal the show has been this one, and it has lived up to its billing.
It's been a very interesting fight. The intensity almost guaranteed that it would be an action fight.
And either way, playing devil's advocate for whoever is victorious and who the loser is, I don't think either guy loses that much stock for those that actually watch this fight critically.
Yeah, I'm in agreement 100% with that statement because losses are overrated. It's how you lose that counts.
Yep.
And whoever loses this fight, or it could be a draw, but whoever loses this fight will not have lost in a bad way.
Very competitive matchup between two guys that are risking their unblemished records. Todd 7-0, Sosa 6-0.
Well, my scorecard, I have it 48-48, so it can't be a draw on my scorecard.
Well, you had that one even round. Yeah.
Correct, the first round.
Well, nice left hook by Todd. What I want to see here is two guys who are young, dig really deep, and fight almost outside themselves because they have energy and they want it so badly, despite the fact that they're both probably pretty tired at this point. That's what I want to see. I want to see them both dig in and give us a good last half of this sixth and final round.
And because of what they have done, from agreeing to the fight, to signing the contract, to making the weight, and to getting in the ring, this fight should be a draw. There should be no loser.
Well, and Steve, getting to your point, you heard Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, and granted, these guys have a long way before they get to that Hall of Fame level, but when Ali fought Frazier, they would say that Ali stated he was almost at the brink of death.
Right.
That he was almost outside of himself, and almost that's what these guys have to do is fight outside of who they normally physically are.
And, of course, it's the first time for either one to ever do that.
And an inadvertent shot below the belt.
See,
You don't
Todd,
like that call, Brian?
Todd waited for Sade to step in, and then all of a sudden he need 5 minutes. He was fine until Sade said, oh, that was a low blow. I mean...
But let me remind Mr. Adams, it ain't his family jewels.
Yeah, it's so true. Any shot below the belt, I certainly empathize with them. Let's
listen,
take a look
I
at
really
it.
don't believe in low blows causing 5 minutes unless it's real devastating.
Oh,
that was on the belt
yeah,
line.
It was on the bottom half of the N in TNT.
Right, that's on the belt line. So,
and we're back to action. Here we go.
The body shot may have bothered him.
Nice
That's what
left
it was.
hook by Adrian Sosa. But back comes Khiry Todd. And Sosa sticks out his tongue at Khiry Todd.
Sosa has a beautiful left hook to the body. He just didn't commit to it early.
In a eventful matchup between two young fighters who are digging deep and letting everything hang out here tonight.
Nice body work this round by Sosa.
Oh, careful there. Todd realized what he did, hitting his man when he was down. That's certainly not the way you want to lose a fight, losing a point for something like that at this point.
Final 10 seconds of this matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a nice round of applause out here for both of these fighters. After 6 rounds of action here at Foxwoods, we go to the judges' score totals. John McKay scored this contest 57-57 even. Bob Paolino scores this bout 59-55. Frank Lombardi scored the bout 58-56. Both for your winner by majority decision. He's still undefeated. Adrian Tonka Sosa.
Adrian Sosa with the majority decision victory over Khiry Todd. He is now 7-0. Todd suffers the first defeat in his professional career.